that classic World of Warcraft was going to be a reality. In that time leading up to the release, the hype only grew more and more as Blizzard did presentations at future BlizzCons showing us the work they've done so far and everything that went on in the background to get this thing working again. And there were even moments during the classic WoW beta which showed us a Blizzard that we remembered from the past too, as they would enter the beta servers and spawn a bunch of bosses just to mess with players and see how the servers held up. And so 2 years after the announcement, on September 26, 2019, classic World of Warcraft dropped worldwide to immediate and massive success. Millions of people from around the world, old players and new alike, hopped back into World of Warcraft to see where it began all of those years ago. The server queues were so enormous, people were waiting over 12 hours in some cases just to be able to log back in and carry on their journey. Every single zone was packed, the economy was just getting established, and it truly was a magical and absolutely unrepeatable moment in World of Warcraft's history. And for that, it really did capture some of the essence that World of Warcraft had back in the day. You never stop to think it won't be this good again when all you're doing is having a good time. You're just there in the moment, and it's amazing. And outside of World of Warcraft, about 6 months or so after launch, COVID started to bring in global lockdowns worldwide, where people literally could not leave their house even if they wanted to. It really was the perfect storm of events, in-game and out, that led to Classic being an absolutely massive success for Blizzard. And whether you ended up agreeing with Brack in time and his statement, you can't deny just how well Blizzard did off finally re-releasing this game, with us knowing that Classic was the cause of the biggest quarterly increase in subscribers World of Warcraft has ever seen, and I don't think they're going to beat that, by the way. And as Classic progressed through the patches and onwards, we saw many new stories come out of this game. The new famous guilds that would clear raids in the space of an hour, dramas surrounding the rank 14 grind and truly how brutal it was, the effort people went to secure world buffs for a raid and a full set of consumables. This was before we had the Chronoboon Displacer, of course. The sheer insanity of opening AQ40 with its faction collusion and literal millions of items that needed to be collected. Classic definitely had its highs and its lows, but it got people playing the game and engaging with others in a way that other versions of World of Warcraft just don't. And that mix from the player base of enthusiasm to really see the game through, as well as, you know, not being able to go outside, really made Classic World of Warcraft into a special time. And again, something that won't be repeated anywhere near that scale. Even if there were a fresh server announced tomorrow, or let's say one soon after, so people could hype themselves up for a bit, would you want to play and replay the exact same experience as you did it back in Classic? Would you do 1 to 60 again on one time's experience? Would you pick your favorite class again now you know how the meta of the game goes? Would you farm for hours a week for consumables and pick up all your world buffs? Would you undertake the ranking journey again? Some would, many wouldn't. But inevitably, time moved on with Classic, and a TBC survey and forum posts about the possibility of an expansion began to pop up. MMOs are usually always driven by content that goes forwards, and with Vanilla finally coming to a close, we had a decision to make. How do we go from Classic to TBC? The answer ended up being somewhat good, somewhat bad. It was Classic Era. Now, Classic Era was a snapshot of characters which was taken on a certain date, and then were moved over to their own pristine servers where there would be no further changes. Other characters would automatically continue on to the Burning Crusade and beyond. Sounds pretty simple. The only issue was if you wanted your character on Classic Era and continue to Burning Crusade, you had to clone them, which initially came for the low price of $35, and this got people understandably really mad. I mean, usually Blizzard services in the shop all seem incredibly overpriced considering they're automated, but $35 to hang on to your character was just excessive, and there was a large amount of community backlash before Blizzard finally lowered it to $15 not long after. Still $15 for what the service is was an extortionate amount. And then way later Blizzard lowered the character clone cost down to $5, but there was pretty much no advertisement for that. Even I didn't realize that had happened for a long time. On top of the character clone drama, Blizzard decided to double down by also selling the Dark Portal Pass, which was basically a character boost, and there was a new mount and a toy, and just generally a package where you could spend some extra money to instantly get a character up to speed to head straight into Outland. It was clear that things were going to be changing with the Burning Crusade, and Blizzard were very much going to be making the most of it. But on June 21st, 2021, the Dark Portal reopened for the second time, and we headed off back into Hellfire Peninsula and Outland. I have to say the first week of Burning Crusade was definitely one of the best times I've had in World of Warcraft. Grinding to level cap, the gold farming, the dungeon spam, the achievements, enjoying all the class updates. It's a very front-loaded expansion content-wise, but man, it was good at the start. Early on into the Burning Crusade's release, we would have a bit of a surprise with a modified seasonal classic server, which dropped about 2 months after Tier 5, and this had a lot of changes largely aimed at some of the more well-known issues that people had complained about throughout vanilla. This was World of Warcraft's first seasonal server called Season of Mastery. It did things such as disabling world buffs in raids, updating raid mechanics to make them a bit more challenging, making gathering nodes and crafting consumables a bit easier, no debuff limit on raid bosses, anti-boosting mechanics in dungeons, and there was even the Soul of Iron enabled too on these servers to prove that your character had never died, but more on that later. An interesting bunch of changes, and on a seasonal server too, which made a lot of sense to me. Ultimately though, this first season, despite implementing a number of well-received changes, didn't do all that well on the player count side of things. As many have pointed out with Season of Mastery, timing I think was the key issue here. People were still progressing Tier 5, their guilds and communities were on Burning Crusade servers, and we'd just redone the whole vanilla experience some 6 months ago. It was just too soon. But TBC pressed on though through Tier 5 into Tier 6 and finally the Sunwell. And of course, if Blizzard were gonna do TBC, Wrath of the Lich King was an absolute certainty, right? I mean, how could it not be? Northrend, an epic music score, massive class updates with iconic abilities such as Lava Burst, Bladestorm, Starfall, and so many more. A new hero class in the Death Knight, and of course the promised battle with the Lich King himself. But as we moved over to Wrath of the Lich King, Burning Crusade would see no error realms as vanilla had done, a trend which I feel will remain pretty consistent throughout Classic now. Wrath of the Lich King will be a return to form once again for Blizzard and World of Warcraft Classic, seeing subscriber numbers surge and loads of people coming back to check out this famous expansion. I think as a whole though, Wrath ended up with a pretty mixed reception. Some saw it as good as they had remembered it, whilst others started to notice a lot of inclusions into the game which really started to move things away from vanilla in a very significant manner. During Trial of the Grand Crusader and Wrath as well, we randomly had the WoW token dropped into the game. No warning, no foresight, just here you go, you can buy gold from us now, no problem. And it felt like for the token, a lot of people got over it the same day it was out more or less. The thing is, by the time you're in Wrath of the Lich King, the amount of gold you had was kind of just a luxury to spend. It didn't matter as much anymore. Only vanilla and the start of TBC, I would say, made gold feel as though it was a necessity. But there was another big addition made to the classic franchise during Wrath of the Lich King, and that was for hardcore World of Warcraft servers. So hardcore WoW had been something that had been steadily growing on classic era realms over a period of time. Back then people used to use a player-made add-on to try and adhere to the rules of the challenge, but all in all, hardcore essentially has been just don't die, and that's the core of it. But Blizzard noticed the demand for hardcore servers and eventually decided to make them official. They released their own hardcore realms on the 23rd of August 2023 to a huge amount of success. This would have happened sometime between Trial of the Grand Crusader and ICC, and it was super hyped to see people play them though, and to share that fresh journey with so many other people, and of course see all the death clips which resulted from it. Something which started just from the community being turned into an official game mode really shows what classic WoW can be when people come together and actually agree on something for once. Definitely a game mode I expect to see have its rises in popularity now and again, and one that I'm glad exists so people can go back to it whenever they want. But back in Wrath of the Lich King, eventually we reached that moment we'd all been waiting for. Ice, Crown, Citadel, and the fight versus the Lich King. Definitely one of the better raids in Classic so far, with a lot of good bosses, especially Arthas himself. But having reached that point and climbed to the peak of the mountain in terms of content, we had done everything now in the Classic trilogy. What was there left to do for Classic WoW now? Should we go back to Classic era? Quite a few people did, to be honest. It fit how they enjoyed the game better than the expansions. How about Hardcore? I mean, it was still pretty fresh back then and you probably already played it. And at the end of the day, we all know what happens after Wrath of the Lich King, World of Warcraft's first properly controversial expansion, Cataclysm. Many doubted it would happen, but BlizzCon 2023 confirmed it, as well as something entirely unexpected. A second seasonal server for World of Warcraft, Season of Discovery, and the announcement for Cata got swept out of the way by additions that this new seasonal server would make, with it even being teased early on as some form of Classic Plus. This new seasonal server would focus on a number of things: different level brackets where experience will be halted, new content in terms of profession item, quests, hidden objectives, and level up raids, a faster paced game where you could level up easily and get into the game content, and biggest of all, the discovery system as well as runes. Players will be able to go out into the world and engage with brand new stories to find runes which could be engraved onto their gear in order to unlock powerful brand new abilities, or in some cases brand new, others were copy paste, but they were new for vanilla. Alongside this, class balance was to be a big focus on Season of Discovery. There will be no more meme specs, no going in 30 seconds, and no more damage meters consisting of one class. This was going to be a classic game with not so classic classes, and it got off to such a popular start with all the new content. It was super alt friendly, it was easy to get into the new BFD raid, people played loads of alts, there was a new PvP event in Ashenvale, and so on. This was a glimpse for a lot of people into the potential that Classic has always held, albeit with a pretty extreme level of class changes. Now, Season of Discovery is still ongoing, of course. Phase 5, which is upcoming when I'm doing the video, is Blackwing Learns or Grub, and that will be coming soon. In fact, personally, I'm considering giving SOD another go after this phase drops, because I've always quite liked ZG, so I wouldn't mind checking that out. Blizzard have also hinted in more recent interviews that Season of Discovery is part of a larger picture, and there will be more projects regarding Classic in the future. So whether we get another seasonal or a full-on fabled Classic Plus as an alternative timeline for World of Warcraft, who knows what they have cooking, but Season of Discovery is going along at the moment. It has a solid population, and it hits a mix between classic and more updated class design. And it still has plenty of time after Phase 5, given that we have a Q40, Naxxramas, and maybe even other new content. And that's the part of Season of Discovery that's always exciting and interesting to follow. It's the first version of Classic where we truly don't know what everything will be in the future, and that's not something we've had the chance to experience before, given that all these games have just been remakes and re-releases. So I am watching along with Season of Discovery, hoping many people are enjoying it, and may hop back on myself soon enough. As for Cataclysm Classic, despite it being a step too far for many people, as expected it did end up launching on May 20th, 2024, sundering the world once again and bringing tons of new content into the game. I've definitely been one of those guys who's been more positive towards Cata, especially looking forwards towards the raiding content in this expansion, but right now it's kind of hard to keep up with that level of enthusiasm because of the, well, lack of anything that Cataclysm has received. Tier 11's a great raid tier, I will always say that, but right now it's kind of had its moment in the spotlight, and Phase 2 of Cata was 2 heroic dungeons which were irrelevant if you've raided in any capacity at all. Prior to Cataclysm, so many things were said about it too, such as changes to the auction house to improve it, a graphical toggle update, different dungeon settings similar to the Titan Rune system from Wrath of the Lich King, class balancing when things are too weak or too overpowered, and we've just got nothing at all. I'm not expecting Blizzard to be able to deliver absolutely on every single thing they say, but we just haven't had anything. When Kata dropped, it got up to about 300,000 active raiders, which isn't all that bad considering this expansion's legacy. And I know people are going to say, well, it's a bad expansion, that's why they're not putting time into updates, but it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't update stuff, less people are going to play, and it just revolves around in a cycle. You probably noticed on my channel there's not been much Cataclysm content. I am still playing it, by the way, it's just there's not really anything to talk about. And honestly, the approach for Kata from Blizzard has been a bit off-putting for the prospect of Mr. Pandaria for me too. If it's just send the expansion and then include major patches without addressing any potential issues, it feels as though it's a missed opportunity when, numbers-wise, at least early on in Cataclysm, things were going well. And really that brings us up to where we are today, some 5 years after this classic WoW journey began once again. I think for me the biggest thing that I still want to see from the future of this game is a proper standalone Classic Plus server with updates and some form of community involvement or input on major updates. But overall it's been an incredible journey seeing it all again, this time from a different point of view, from starting back at level 1 in Coldridge Valley to now thinking about fighting Ragnaros on heroic mode in Firelands soon. Though the next 5 years of Classic do seem a little more uncertain however, and I feel as though Blizzard really have to innovate. If in 5 years so far we've done Vanilla, TBC, Wrath and a bit under half of Kata, then the next 5 years would involve the second half of Kata, Mr. Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor and Legion. And I've said a bunch of times I could see us getting to Legion, but by then there has to be something else. And perhaps with hints dropped in recent interviews and plenty of time to work on something new, maybe there just will be. I am still holding out for Classic Plus. I think that is the next big step which will really give Classic a future beyond re-releasing or replaying content, but only time will tell. And it's not just been 5 years of WoW Classic in-game, it's been 5 years for me of making content about this game, at least in a full-time capacity. I released my first video back on April 30th, 2019. It was a subject which seemed to me as though it was obvious to cover, but I couldn't find anyone who had done it, and that was comparing the success of old school RuneScape to World of Warcraft. And you know what? I said Classic wouldn't do as well as people won't want anything to change, so it will limit the game to some extent. And here we are playing our second WoW seasonal server and thinking about Classic Plus and something more permanent. It'll happen after SOD though, surely, right? Of course this video got pretty much no views because opinion pieces with 0 subscribers don't tend to be a good mix. But soon after that I started the Was It Any Good Though class series, and that's what really got me into YouTube. There's nothing like waking up one day and seeing your channel that gets maybe 10 views in a day is now getting 10,000 in a few hours. It's pretty surreal. And to time to that, the contract to the job I was working ended literally a few days before the release of Classic. So I just went all in on YouTube to see if it would work, and well, I'm fortunate enough where I'm still able to do this even though the landscape of Classic has changed so much. So I guess what I want to say is, thank you for watching, whether you found the channel and subscribed yesterday or years ago towards the start of Classic. For the future I see myself making World of Warcraft related content here. I may do some other MMO stuff now and again, you never know what's gonna come out. There was the Riot MMO project, but that was shelved sometime last year, and I'm not expecting anything big to be happening in that space for a very long time. And of course there's Ashes of Creation, the MMO with an open project development cycle that everyone has an opinion about. I've definitely taken an interest to it, but again it's gonna be years before anything really happens there. I do want to get posting on my other channel again a bit too. Yeah, I do have another channel. I kind of made a few videos and then I got a bit busy with World of Warcraft related stuff and just wasn't able to keep up with it. It's League of Legends focused, and I always get a bit hyped with League towards when Worlds is on. But over there I'm interested in making history type videos for League, similar to what I've done with World of Warcraft for the most part, and I am happy with what I've posted there so far. I just kind of need to do more of it. And this wouldn't be me trying to leave this channel or go on that one full time. It would be me doing both at the same time, and at the end of the day there's a bit less happening on the Classic side of things at the moment, so maybe I can find some more free time and come up with some good ideas for that. I'll link it below if you want to check it out. But that's about it. 5 years of Classic, 5 years of YouTube. Here's to 5 more. So truly, thank you all so much for watching over the years and listening in, and I'll see you all in the next one very soon.
A new, fast-growing Christian YouTube channel, Redeemed Zoomer, put out a video promisingly called All Atheist Arguments Answered in 10 Minutes.
Yeah, I'm top DPS, I'm the best. Oh, hey Ludo. Yeah, the new World of Warcraft expansion is out, so can you leave me be? How long have I been down here? Well, in the short term, all night, but in the long term, well, I've been playing for 16 years. I don't have a problem, you've got a problem, but wait, do I? Am I actually addicted to this game, and if so, how? I'm fully aware of all of the tricks Dev use to hook their players. It is my job to design them, so if I've peered behind the wizard's curtain, why does this still work on me? What's kept this World of Warcraft clock ticking for nearly 20 years? So why do you think this game is so addicting, Ludo? The story. No, they butchered that a long time ago. Narrative design and even cohesion hasn't been their main focus for years now. I mean, it was early on. They took a lot of what people enjoyed narratively from the RTS Warcraft series and used that as a hook to get players in, ready to naively wander the fields of Northshire, but lurking behind those trees, Cenobites wait to administer a host of hooks to keep you addicted for literal decades. And this can start as early on as making your first character. So there's a wealth of choice here, with what race you pick ranging from fantasy minorities all the way to literal war criminals, but even when you've chosen to play as a mana-huffing crack-addict terrorist, you get to select what class you play, and the level of complexity here is overwhelming to say the least. What are you going to be? A paladin? A mage but dragon flavoured? There's something here for everyone, even people with slow reflexes and terrible morals. Yes, I'm looking directly at you hunters and you know exactly why. Anyway, each one of these classes has their own suite of complex and interwoven abilities to craft their own unique playstyle, but to mimic what the game does to not overwhelm, first we need to level. Now, as my viewers will know, I usually despise leveling systems, how they gate off and bog down progression just for some artificial sense of pacing just tacked on because of some cargo cult thinking bullfuckery of how and why they exactly work. But World of Warcraft is the exception, because leveling here is a necessity of design. Because once fully leveled, each class has such a wealth of tools in their kit to suit any kind of situation. To hand all of that out at once would break players' minds, so they use the leveling system to onboard players at a more natural pace. For example, Monk, my main class. You start off with some simple damaging abilities, how to build up and spend your main resource chi, and then through each level they introduce new abilities to slowly get the player comfortable with a larger array of skills to use in their rotation to damage enemies more efficiently. And combat isn't just spamming the same button over and over, it's this dance that completely changes based on whatever situation you find yourself in, and for me, Monk is the perfect example of this because they have a passive that means they get increased damage if the next ability they cast is not a repeat of the last one. This encourages this flow in your rotation between skills rather than just sitting there spamming the same ability, picking your own arse. Yes, I'm looking at you hunters again. Throughout the leveling process, you gain this mechanical mastery of your class, so this visual noise of abilities comes into focus, knowing exactly what to use in any situation, be it to kill, stun, evade, heal or manipulate. And it's so unbelievably rewarding to reach this point, feeling like a one-man Swiss Army knife that can also ride a fucking skeleton dragon. Now take this feeling of mastery and then go back and look at all of the available classes and know that they all play completely differently. It is intoxicating. This hook is firmly in, but it goes deeper. As you progress through the game, you gain access to a variety of dungeons. They're like these little pocket instances with their own sets of bosses and quests that can be repeated. Now, dungeons are a huge part of why I and many others are still addicted to WoW so many years later, but it might not be for the reasons you think. Well, no, it's not just about loot. We talked about WoW's gearing system in our episode on how looter shooter devs misunderstand loot, but I'll give the viewers a brief summary. Now, we all know this as the fabled carrot on a stick. As you progress and complete any form of content, you're rewarded with items with numerical stat bonuses that allow you to access harder and harder content. And this process repeats itself indefinitely in a loop as new content is released. The player is never quite able to reach that carrot, forever chasing, but forever being incrementally rewarded, keeping them in this chokehold of gratification, which on a surface level could keep players addicted to completing dungeons, but alone that isn't enough. For me, the real trick is what's required to complete them. To do them, you need 5 players, 3 to do damage, 1 to heal the party, and 1 to tank, taking all of the enemy aggression and brunt of the damage. Now each class has a set of distinct specializations they can pick from that completely alters their class to fit one of these 3 roles. And for example, Monk can pick between Brewmaster to tank, Mistweaver to heal, or Windwalker to DPS. Yeah, I know it's complex, that's why I've been drip feeding it to you. Anyway, each one of these specific roles has their own complexities and things to enjoy. For damage dealers, the enjoyment comes from performing your rotation and abilities as flawlessly as possible to compete against the other 2 DPS to see who can outperform the other. Doing dumbass shit like standing in enemy AoEs just to get % more damage, even though they're a ranged class. God, I hate hunters. Healers, however, have to navigate the ever-shifting environment that is the team's health bars, attempting to keep them alive, always on their toes. And tanks, yeah, they're just glorified babysitters. And I'm saying this as a tank main myself. We lead the party around, keeping enemy aggression on us as we attempt to mitigate as much of it as possible and corral the party into not being absolute twats. And we control the overall pace of the dungeon, pulling larger and larger amounts of enemies based on what you, your healers, and the DPS can handle. Now yeah, the infinitely repeatable projectile loot machines that dungeons are is a contributing factor to their addictive nature, but the real kicker for me is the social aspect. It can be as simple as filling a very specific role and feeling, well, needed, as sad as that sounds, but in other games that try and emulate this, you don't really need your teammates, but because of how complex WoW's endgame content can be, it makes communication and teamwork a necessity. You need to strategize and utilize the skills of each one of your players to succeed, and because of this, if you perform well, you very quickly start to make friends, people who want to continue playing with you because of how you play or what your specific class can bring to the table, and the deeper you get, the harder the content gets and the more of a necessity this all becomes. For example, raids, which are like massive dungeons that require at least 10 or upwards to 20 people to be present, performing and playing optimally. Entire guilds of players are formed to create teams to tackle this content, and these guilds become families that always come with their own sense of drama, betrayal, and abuse. Shout out to Drama Time from Breach Game. Anyway, Ludo, what do you think MMORPG stands for? Yeah, that's right. Your mum is massive online role-playing game, and the important parts here are online and role-playing. World of Warcraft perfectly emulates an environment where you get to interact with other players on a massive scale and perform a role that makes you useful. That's what keeps players coming back. It's not just the loot and the dungeons design. Do them completely by yourself and it can lose all of its luster quickly. Humans are social creatures. It's the interactions this game fosters that keeps its players coming back time and time again. Other people are a huge factor to why this game is so addicting. Or not. Do whatever you want. You just want to farm old content for cool ass outfits? Knock yourself out. You want to hunt extremely rare mounts? Each to their own. Want to destroy other players in PvP? Shoot for the fucking stars. Want to play Pokemon, but in WoW? Fucking go for it, mate. The game can be as complex or as simple as you want, as solo or community driven as you see fit. The longevity of this game can be attributed to this and the horrific amount of difficult work the WoW team has put into making this game accessible and attractive to as many types of players and foster a space that encourages community and communication. That's what's been bringing people back for nearly 20 years. But let's not to discount some of the, let's say, nefarious things they've done over the years to try and keep their players hooked. Like constantly attempting to add entirely new mechanical systems each expansion, which can be great like with artifact weapons, or a total mess like Covenant abilities. Trust me, you don't want to know. Regardless of what system is introduced, rather than expanding on what was working, they create entirely new systems in the hopes of finding brand new ways to hook their players, but in the process, destroy what came before it to make room, leaving a lot of players to feel disappointed. Or like having quests on a daily resetting timer that give you reputation for certain factions that sometimes require literal months of grinding to complete. This encourages the players to log in day after day after day, which is just unhealthy. And then all of these reputations being tied to your character specifically, so that let's say you wanted to make a new one, well, get to grinding all over again, you fuck. Most MMOs like Guild Wars 2 or FF14 have moved past this like, I don't know, 10 years ago. It encourages players not to experiment at all, and in most cases, just to fizzle out and stop playing. You can have your game be addicting but still healthy and respectful to your players' time, and I know this because WoW is doing it right now. A lot of the issues I've just mentioned have been from World of Warcraft's past. Now there's still a ways to go, but they've made a lot of positive changes to put more power into the players' hands in how they choose to spend their time in the game, by looking at competitors in the genre and learning from them rather than just digging their heels in, making gear rewards and upgrades way easier to obtain and then trade between classes. Daily quests are nearly all but gone, and reputation grinds are now account-wide across all of your characters. They don't want you playing all of the time. They no longer require that stranglehold on its players' throats. They want you to play other games, but then be able to jump back in at any point and be able to stay relevant to its current content. They've made so many great changes, it's kind of worrying. Honestly, it's like a drug dealer who occasionally gives you £5 for no reason and makes you wonder, well, are they turning over a new leaf? But nah, they're just trying to sell you more crack. But I guess the crux of this video is, crack is fun if you're making friends along the way? Yeah, it only took me 10 minutes to get this video demonetized, but what do you think? Have you ever become addicted to a game and ask yourself, well, why is that so?
Gut.
Super, so schön, dass du wieder da bist.
Fancy cuppa?
Alles okay?
Yeah, sorry. Bottle of water.
Was ist los mit dir?
You wanna watch Harry Potter?
Kim, du warst gerade mal 10 Tage zurück in England. Du weißt, was das bedeutet. Liam, du denkst nur an dein inneres deutsches Ich. In welcher Mülltonne entsorge ich Pappe?
Klar.
Was machen wir mit leeren Flaschen?
Sammeln und zum Pfandautomat bringen.
Wann überquere ich eine Ampelkreuzung?
Wenn es grün ist. Außer du wohnst in Berlin?
Soll ich dir deine Staatsbürgerschaft wieder wegnehmen, Liam?
Nein.
Okay, dann letzte Frage. Wie viele Minuten vor offizieller Abfahrtszeit deines Zuges musst du am Bahnhof sein?
Das ist eine Fangfrage. Sie kommen nie pünktlich an.
The magic! It calls to me!
Let's play some Tank Vega now. Yep, I saw this guy called Bob play this like Tank Vega build. I thought it was pretty funny. So I want to try it. Boom. Got the grass stack and the Q on Alawi. Perfect. We're 1 AP more than 0. It's actually over. Okay, I'm gonna focus on just grasping the Alawi. Boom. Boom, grasp. Feels good, doesn't it? The grasp. Oh. The grasp dodge. Oh. Just gonna fight it. Yeah, I played that pretty bad. I'm playing this awfully. Oh, got the grass stack. I mean the Q stack there. Okay, dodge that. Okay, this is fine. He's getting really low. I'm actually landing a lot of Qs now. I dodged that. Okay, grasp. Voice. Q. Got him. Dodge that. Yeah. I think he backed. Nope, he's in that bush. Q. Got him. Grasp. Okay, he's looking real low now. Q. Got him, got him. Actually winning this. Whoa, what the fuck? Did my character just... Okay. Made him flat. Well, I feel like my character just teleported there.
Did you know
What was that? Fuck, I'm coming. Oh, you just let him auto attack you like that, man. Damn. Okay, hey, I got the assist with my E's. That's nice. I'll take that. You're out of mana. I'm out of mana. Should we just call a truce? No. Wait, I'm gonna level up and just ult him. True. Every time I'm out of mana. How many minions? Oh, he's level 6 now too, though. Ah, he's not killable anymore. I need one more Q on him. Ah, you miss. It was bad. Okay, got the Q. He's so low. Does my ult kill him here ever? Let me do the calculations. It's 450. My ult does up to 435. I need one Q ult. Like this. And then like this. Fuck. Kind of close. But hey, I landed the Q. So I got a stack. I'm quite pleased with that. I'm gonna ult him. He's dead. Oh, yes. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, that works out for me. Thank you for the gank, I guess. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Oh, God. I'm gonna ult him. He's dead. Oh, yes. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, that works out for me. Thank you for the gank, I guess. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Oh, God. You ended it. Wow, I'm surprised I lived that. That feels good. Yeah, I want to get a hostile stack on him. Look at that. Hostile. Very nice. You W that. More stacks. Grasp. You dodge the tentacle. Grasp. Grasp. There it is. I won that trade, by the way. Oh, I missed. Let's not get ahead of myself. I'm running out of mana. Oh, he missed that one, though. I can't ult yet. Not yet. Okay, now we ult. After we Q him. Nice. Oh, let's go. And I got the hostile stack. Okay, we are gaming now. Ooh, I'm starting to do damage, dude. I have 140 stacks right now. Oh, my Q doesn't one-shot the back. That feels really bad. Ooh, that was a good dodge. I'm surprised myself. Q. B. He's done. Oh, he has his ult though. We should probably run. How much? You got anything for me? Q. I got ult. I got ult in. Ult! Oh, I do no damage though. W! Ah, okay, I'm alive! Hostile! Ah, yes! Yes! That was the best case scenario because I got all the I feel like Blitzcrank is coming and there has to be a reason, right? Definitely coming for me. Oh, because Zed's here. Makes sense. No first strike for you. I don't think they kill me here. I'm down to get double heart still. He doesn't realize I'm so tanky. I'm too tanky. I can kill him. Okay. Could be good here. I think I should be able to just run in peace. Or he could just ult. Ah! Okay, 4-9 stack. Wait, I got it. Grass stack, heal. Okay, 4-9 stack, movement speed, boom. Fuck! They took forever to kill me, man. Okay, we got our war mods now and plate is still capped. How can they ever kill me? How? Good ult, good ult. That was a really good ult. Okay, now I don't want to split push anymore. Oh, what? Didn't you escape? I thought he got out. Okay, relax. I'm literally the tank. Yep. Still okay. I'm happy. I'm really happy with this fight. Got my W. Got my Q. It's really bad that Senna died though, and that I got hooked back. I'm not liking this fight anymore. I don't like it at all. I need a thorn mail. Got the E. Okay, got the stun. Ult. Alright, beautiful. Just beautiful. And we're full HP again. Oh, look at that. And we got the blue buff. Hey, technically I could stay in lane forever. Hello, who's mid? I can't get on him. Oh, I can. Fuck, he's too fast. Oh, I'm pretty sure I can still one-shot this guy. Never mind. Never mind. I made a mistake. Oh man. That's not a good spot, bot. My team is low-key getting wrecked. My Jhin dies too? Oh, that is not good, guys. How did everyone die? Okay, I'm fine. Winnable. Oh, he just flashed on me. Hello? I'm ulting. Okay, nice. That works. That's really good, actually.
Yeah, I reckon.
E. Two. Okay, nice. I want these shutdowns on Jhin. Dude, I'm gonna be the unkillable demon god. I'm not even joking. I'm gonna be so strong. Yo, chill out. Chill out for a second, beauty. Oh, I got him with the auto attack. I think it was hard still. Okay, we're at 5.5k HP now. Oh, Jhin, I'm coming. Jhin, I'm coming. Okay, come on, Talon. This is all you. I'm looking at base though. Okay, Ilau is not on base, so I'm happy with that. I'm getting so much stacks off killing this, just auto-attacking this Ilaoi. She doesn't realize, but she's actually farming me so many stacks right now. And she can never kill me. Like, look how tanky I am. Oh, fuck, she's killing me. Help! Ah, fuck off, Aaron! Fuck my life! Where's my team? They're all dead! No, 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 no! Not like this! Okay? Winnable, winnable, I'm so tanky! Okay, I'm auto-attacking! I got the E! I got, what's it called? My Thorn Mail? I got Anti-Heal. I saved the game! I saved it! What? I have 600 AP with no AP items, but Riftmaker. You wanna go, bro? Come. Like, literally come at me.